This is not a drill. NVIDIA stock is sitting in front of you like a loaded spring. And when it snaps, it's taking off. We're talking about the company that owns AI, runs the semiconductor game, and is flat out redefining the future of tech. This isn't just another stock. It's the engine behind the trillion-dollar AI transformation. And you're running out of time to grab it while it's cheap. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most exciting, high-powered, absolutely unstoppable forces in the stock market, NVIDIA. Look, if you're serious about making money, and I mean serious, you need to stop sleeping on this. NVIDIA isn't just part of the AI revolution, it is the AI revolution. From powering ChatGPT to running the data centers that make autonomous vehicles and smart cities possible, NVIDIA is the tip of the spear. And here's the kicker. The market hasn't fully priced that in yet, but it will, soon. So let's break down why this is your window, and why it may not stay open for long. Let me say it plainly. NVIDIA owns AI. Not shares it, not participates in it, owns it. Every major AI model, built on NVIDIA hardware, every serious enterprise AI deployment, running through NVIDIA's compute stack, every major tech player, from Microsoft to Amazon to Tesla, is cutting NVIDIA a check. Why? Because NVIDIA's GPUs are not just fast, they're the best. And the difference isn't small. This isn't Android versus iPhone. This is bicycle versus rocket ship. Their latest GPU architecture, Blackwell, just crushed the game. It's built for reasoning, multimodal AI, and the kind of agentic AI that turns chatbots into digital employees. And the demand? Off the charts. Jensen Huang, NVIDIA's legendary CEO, said recently, "The world needs 100 times more compute to run AI systems at scale. That compute will run on. Full stop. This is like owning the rails in the gold rush. Everyone's racing to dig, but they all need the same tracks to get there, and NVIDIA controls them." Want to know what AI leaders like OpenAI, Meta, Google DeepMind, and Anthropic all have in common? They build on NVIDIA. And we're not just talking training massive language models. We're talking everything from inference to scaling operations to real-time deployment in production environments. Take autonomous vehicles, the next-generation Teslas, the AI-driven GM platforms, the Waymo fleets. Guess who's processing the decision-making at every intersection? That's right, NVIDIA Drive. And if we're talking smart cities, edge AI, and robotics, you guessed it, NVIDIA. They're not a vendor. They're the foundation. If you're already feeling the momentum here, don't wait. Like the video, subscribe, and hit that bell because we go deep on every major investing play the market's handing us right now. And if you're thinking of sitting this one out, just remember, the AI gold rush doesn't wait for hesitation. Let's zoom out, because this isn't just about GPUs. NVIDIA is the most important semiconductor company on Earth for performance computing. Their chips dominate AI training and inference. Their data center segment is booming. Their roadmap? Terrifying if you're a competitor. They just rolled out a 4-year roadmap. That's confidence. That's dominance. While competitors like AMD scramble to catch up, NVIDIA's been living in the future for a decade. CUDA, their programming model, is industry standard. Developers code for it. Enterprises build on it. Switching away? Not gonna happen. You've heard of ARM. You've heard of Intel, but none of them have the same stranglehold over the software ecosystem like NVIDIA does. CUDA has locked in hundreds of thousands of developers, researchers, and engineers across the world. Once you're inside the ecosystem, there's no reason to leave. And now they're moving vertically. Software frameworks like NVIDIA Triton, TensorRT, and Omniverse are locking down higher-level application layers. It's not just chips. It's the entire stack, from hardware to SDKs to end-user apps. Semiconductors aren't just tech. They're AI is this era's arms race. NVIDIA is selling the tanks, fueling the jets, and building the control towers. If AI is the next electricity, NVIDIA is General Electric. Everyone's plugging in. Let's look at the scoreboard. NVIDIA pulled in $130 billion in revenue in fiscal 2025. That's up 114% year over year. GAAP earnings per share, up 147%. Free cash flow through the roof. Hypergrowth, high margins, massive profits. Most companies dream of having one. NVIDIA has all three. Even more compelling, gross margins remain strong, over 76%. That's nearly unheard of in chip manufacturing. It tells us one thing. They don't just sell hardware, they sell. And even at $1 trillion market cap, it's underpriced when you consider what they're powering. This is a $15 to $20 trillion market by 2030. NVIDIA owns the picks and shovels. This is like buying Apple before the iPhone 3, or Amazon before AWS. And let's not forget their balance sheet. No excessive debt, strong cash reserves, and record-setting earnings quarter after quarter. They're not just growing, they're thriving. And investors are taking notice. You're already a customer. Your bank uses NVIDIA GPUs for fraud detection. Your hospital for diagnostics. Your car for real-time computation. You're in it. The only question is whether you're profiting from it. Need proof this isn't hype? Partnering with Cisco to rebuild enterprise infrastructure for AI. Dominating automotive, self-driving, NVIDIA. Entering telecom, 6G and AI, also NVIDIA. They're not competing. They're redefining the battlefield. Cisco plus NVIDIA is a blueprint for the AI-powered data center of the future. But the playbook goes even further. Alliances with Oracle, Microsoft Azure, and Amazon Web Services. It's a who's who of cloud giants leaning on NVIDIA to drive performance. And Jensen Huang? The man is a visionary. He's building a legacy company, an empire, not a startup. This isn't a hype cycle. It's industrial-scale transformation. They're deploying AI into everything: healthcare imaging, robotics, industrial automation, oil and gas. When a new frontier opens up, NVIDIA is already there. From simulation platforms like Omniverse for virtual factories to BioNeMo for biotech AI research, they're covering every base, every vertical, every dollar of value creation. They don't pivot, they pave. Let's talk about demand. Not just any demand. We're talking exponential, compounding global demand. NVIDIA's chips aren't sitting in warehouses. They're getting snatched up faster than new iPhones on launch day. And this isn't some temporary surge. This is structural. The more AI expands, the more NVIDIA gets embedded into every layer of it. Language models? They need GPUs. Medical diagnostics using AI? Also GPUs. Industrial robots with vision, automation, and real-time feedback? Guess what they run on? Every industry undergoing AI transformation is indirectly pushing NVIDIA's stock higher. This isn't a tech trend, it's a tectonic shift in how business, defense, medicine, and even agriculture operate. We've entered a phase where compute power is the new oil, and NVIDIA owns the rigs, the refineries, and the pipelines. Let that sink in. And here's what's even more wild. NVIDIA doesn't just benefit when a big company upgrades its tech. It wins every time someone deploys AI at scale. That means every startup, every cloud platform, every AI SaaS tool, every data-heavy application. They're all feeding the beast. Just one example. OpenAI's GPT-4 used around 25,000 NVIDIA GPUs to train. That's just one model. Now multiply that across every LLM, vision system, speech recognition network, and reinforcement learning platform in existence. It's NVIDIA's chips doing the heavy lifting. When we say NVIDIA is everywhere, it's not hyperbole, it's literal. And the global acceleration of generative AI, from chatbots to digital twins, is creating a tsunami of inference compute requirements. That's why NVIDIA is rolling out inference-optimized chips like Blackwell that handle more tokens, faster processing, and higher power efficiency. It's not just training that matters anymore, it's everything after it. Here's something no one on the left talks about. Control over AI isn't just about profit, it's about power. National security, economic dominance, and sovereignty are all on the table. Countries that don't control AI infrastructure will be left behind. That's why the US government is not only supporting NVIDIA, they're relying on them. Export restrictions are being crafted around NVIDIA's importance. Taiwan's TSMC might make the chips, but it's NVIDIA's designs and IP that the world wants. And as we've seen in recent supply chain tensions, chip control is strategic leverage. China wants to develop its own GPU alternatives. Europe is scrambling to build sovereign compute infrastructure. Meanwhile, the US is doubling down on its domestic AI advantage. And NVIDIA is the linchpin. This isn't just capitalism at work. It's national defense strategy in real time. If you control the semiconductors, you control the future. And right now, NVIDIA controls the most valuable chips in the world. And let's not forget, these chips are now essential to defense systems, drone technology, cybersecurity, and surveillance infrastructure. The stakes are too high for the US to fall behind, and NVIDIA's dominance ensures that won't happen. We are at the front end of a decade-long supercycle. From 2023 to 2033, we're going to witness the most profound transformation in computing since the invention of the internet. And when historians write the story of that transition, NVIDIA won't just be a footnote, it'll be the headline. Right now, you can buy in while the price still reflects early-stage valuations. Before AI hits full-scale enterprise deployment, before automotive autonomy becomes mainstream, before 6G turns edge computing into a necessity. Analysts are calling for NVIDIA to cross $2 trillion in market cap. Others see it hitting $4 to $5 trillion by the end of the decade. Sound crazy? That's what they said about Apple in 2007. AI adoption is still in early innings. Enterprise budgets are just beginning to realign. Developer ecosystems are still growing. If this were a baseball game, we're barely in the second inning. Ask yourself, when this runs, where will you be? Are you positioned or are you watching? If you found this valuable, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who needs to stop procrastinating, and drop a comment below. Are you loading up on NVIDIA or still on the fence? Either way, remember, the AI race is on, and NVIDIA already won. Now it's just a matter of whether you're on the ride or watching from the sidelines.